What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Yours truly here, the Brockton Credit Guide, the author of #1 new release book on Amazon called Unlocking Your Credit, where I talk about credit, finance, budgeting, etc., and how you can leverage credit, to navigate through the credit system, right? And also the owner of Depina Credit Solutions. So basically in this video, I want to talk briefly about a topic that I got a lot of question about. I don't think people understand it like a lot. So I want to basically kind of like dumb it down. I chose like 10 questions roughly that I get asked the most and kind of went through it and explain it, right? So I want to make sure you stay until the end and watch and understand it. Also, make sure if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, set the notification bell to all, like that for any new videos. You get the notification, you can learn more about credit. Take a tour around the channel. I have a lot of information about investing, saving, budgeting, etc. that you can learn, because I believe that the more information you know about credit and finance in general, the likelihood of you getting into financial trouble is very minimal, right? And then you're going to be able to teach your families about it. But in this particular topic, I want to talk about specifically ultimate secrets of credit card user, authorized user, and the frequent asked questions that we get a lot. Basically, how can you use somebody else's credit that has established credit to boost your credit profile and boost your credit score, right? I want to talk about it first. I'm going to explain what is authorized user. What is authorized user versus joint account? An authorized user, basically in a nutshell, is basically you're coasting along or piggyback in somebody else's credit card history. So basically, if you have a family member and things like that that add you as authorized user on that specific credit card, you'll be able to inherit that credit card history into yours. It's different from joint account. Joint account, you're literally 100% liable for that usage of that account. A lot of credit card company out there don't do joint credit card that much anymore. But the information I'm going to give you in this video, obviously each company, each bank deals with authorized user, handle authorized user different from each other. So obviously you got to do your own due diligence, do your own research. But the most information I'm going to tell you here, it's standard across the board, across the banks, across the lending institution, and how they deal with it, how it's reporting on your credit, how you can benefit from it, right? The questions I get a lot too, second question is that why should you be an authorized user on somebody else's credit card, right? Basically, I mean, in a nutshell, it's to help you build your credit. Basically, family, parents, father, mother, what they do, it's an emergency backup for their child. Say that otherwise, because they're a minor, they cannot buy anything online with the credit card. So adding your child as authorized user, not only it's building their credit, but in case of emergency, they need to use it, they'll be able to piggyback from it. They'll be able to transfer the money or have access to that credit line and be able to buy the stuff, and where you could control it in the essence, right? Sometimes why should you be added? Sometimes spouse, significant other might have a really good credit cards that they want to basically share the rewards, share the points that they get. So they basically add you as an authorized user, being a spouse, or as one of the children, and then you use the card responsible, and then you get the points and get the rewards, etc., right? So those are some of the reasons why you get added as authorized user. Mainly we know it to build credit, but there's many other reasons why a parent would add, or a spouse would add somebody as authorized user on their card, right? What you get once you get added as authorized user, I get this question a lot. If I get added as authorized user, what do I get? Well, mainly what you get the age of credit, not the credit profile of that someone, but that specific credit card, that one credit card or two credit card that they add you get that age added. So for example, if you're new to credit, you don't have a credit line, you don't have a credit history, getting added as an authorized user on somebody that has a credit established for like 2, 3, 10, 20 years, that credit card history gets basically passed to you, and you'll see a major change on your credit. Depends how they handle it, right? Payment history, right? You get that payment history for the last 5, 10, 20 years, however they have it for, right? The credit line, otherwise you would have had that amount of credit line reported on your credit or credit utilization. However, now, because that person that adds you is responsible, have like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 credit line, that gets duplicated, kind of mirrored into your credit. How can you get added as authorized user? I get that question a lot here. There's a lot of ways that you could get added as authorized user. One of the easiest ways is just by picking up the phone, you as a primary card holder, and say, hey, I want to add my kids into my credit card. I want to add my family member into my credit card. They're going to ask you, it depends on the lender, they're going to ask you a couple of questions, or you could go to your online portal into your bank or your credit card company, your lending institution. It should be easy there to add as authorized user. Or you could search within the credit card that you have how to add authorized user, or put the keyword there. It should kind of walk you through the process. You're going to need basic information from that person, right? So that's basically who can add me as authorized user. I get that question a lot, because how can I get added? Well, who can add me? Literally, virtually anybody can add you, but mainly this is designed for spouse, family member, children that you're trying to like help out, build credit, teach them responsibility, teach them financial literacy. Those are the core people that could be added. But I've seen it being added. Who can add you? Virtually anybody that can add you. Somebody that basically trusts you, for example. Do you need a credit card? Somebody, they could choose not to give you the credit card, right? They could say, you know what, I don't want the credit card. If the credit card comes, they could rip it, trash it, and throw it away, and you're still gonna get the benefits, right? There's, in the industry that we're in, basically, there's a lot of what they call renting credit line or trade line. I'm not a fan of that, because one, you don't know who you're giving your personal information to online. I'm not a big fan of that. It's not designed for that. Also, if the credit card company detect that that's been done, they have a tendency of just close that trade line completely from the primary card holder. So, but there's companies out there that does it. Some of them will do it for 30 days. Some of them will do it for 90 days, what have you. So it's a very risky way to go, but usually it's done within the family member. Spouse is designed for spouse, children's, and family member, right? How much impact do I get of being an authorized using somebody's credit? That's valid questions that I get a lot. It all depends, right? Depends your profiles, right? Because even though that person that adds you as authorized user, right, has an 800 credit score, doesn't mean that the 800 credit score is going to transpire into yours. You're going to get that history on it, right? You're going to get good or bad behavior on that credit card. So you got to be really careful that, if that person has a bad credit, or, on that credit card, right, they miss a payment, there's no point, but if they start using the utilization skyrocketing, in relation to the credit line, it's gonna hurt you, because normally, you You want someone that has a low utilization, long history on the credit card, no payment, late payments on it. So like that you could benefit. And I've seen score jump anywhere from like 20 to 100 point be added. Depends on your credit profile. There's a lot of algorithm and stuff that goes in. I get this question a lot right after that. How can I be sure I'm added into the account and it's reporting into my credit, right? A couple of ways is that you got to make sure that you're giving your full legal name, your address, date of birth, and social. A lot of companies out there will only ask for name, date of birth, and the address, but never go through the social. Doesn't mean that you're not gonna get added, but I feel more confident when they ask for social like that, they'll tie in. Because what they'll do when they don't ask for social, they'll try to find you like a public record and stuff like that, kind of match you, see if you can match. But at times, that might be an issue. So you'll go through, you'll be like, well, I was added few months ago, I still don't see it on my credit report. I mean, you could call them, you could call the company and say, hey, I was added my sister's account, it's still haven't reported. You probably will allow you to verify a couple of things, right? Other than that, I mean, I recommend cards like, for example, the known card like Chase, Citi, American Express, Bank of America, the big Capital One, the big company out there that will ask you for the social, date of birth, etc., in order to match you as close as possible, like that gets reported into your credit. Couple of things is I want to make sure, because you're doing it for history, but some of American Express card, you get added, you don't get the history, right? You don't get the history of the credit. You get added as a new user, so the history starts as a new. So, I mean, if you're doing an aim to build history, to get the payment history and age, some American Express, not the best card to get added. I would go first with like your Visa, MasterCard, like Discover, Chase, Citi, Bank of America. Those are like the ones that will report really quick and be able to report the history. So if that person had it for 10 years, 20 years, good payment history, high credit utilization, you will get that, right? So you want to make sure that you kind of do your due diligence research before you get added somebody else. But what happens if the primary card holder stop breaking a bad habit, bad credit habit? Now they're late or they're overusing it. Honestly, straightforward, get yourself out of it, right? Just call up and say, hey, I want to get myself removed from this authorized user. Like that doesn't hold you back, because any bad behavior from that card holder, primary card holder that adds you, it gets reflected into your credit. So you get good and bad behavior on that credit, but you could just ask to get yourself removed. What happened if remove as authorized user? Well, if you get removed as an authorized user, what happens is all that history, right, gets wiped out, right? So that's why I usually tell people, you get added as authorized user, right, by your parents, by your spouse and stuff like that. Don't sit back in the chair at a beach and just relax and coast along. No, use that opportunity, because what it just did, it opened doors for you to this company, to this bank, and to your credit profile that otherwise that you wouldn't get to in that speed, right? So use that opportunity, once your credit is going up, that you're getting, information, right? You're getting that information. So what I normally recommend is that just go ahead and open 1 or 2 credit cards. Even if you start with secure credit card, otherwise that you wouldn't get approved for, but you're gonna start getting an offer, right? Because if they remove you, the question is, if you get removed, that trade line or that account might just disappear on your credit, or sometimes what it does is says terminated from your credit. Stop reporting, erase all the history from the past, so you're starting from ground zero. So hopefully by then, you have some primary card. Even if they remove you, if they end up closing that account, and you have your own primary trade line there, right? So how can a primary holder stop user from card holder from bad habit? If they add you and they gave you a card and now you're not using it correctly, how can they stop you? They can just remove you or close that account or whatever the case is, and then again you lose the history. I mean, in a nutshell, the person that adds you trusts you enough to give you an opportunity to boost your credit or take a ride with them to get your credit to the next level. So you should take this opportunity, seriously and responsible, to build up your profile, because credit is very, very important, right? And just make sure you learn from that person the way they have a good credit behavior, how they use their credit card utilization. Keep the utilization on any account that going forward less than 30%. Ideally, I even like to keep mine under 10. In the good months, I like to keep it under 5 to make sure my score keeps going up. Because individual over 700 credit score, 750 or 800, it's not only they pay their bills on time and things like that, they understand how the scoring algorithm works. They're able to kind of coast along and be a responsible credit card use, because credit card can help you build your credit, but it can also drop your score drastically if you don't use it right, if you don't pay your bills on time, right? Check out the videos that I have about the FICO, the scoring model, and hopefully this information, these questions help you understand the secrets behind credit card authorized user and the frequent asked question, how you use somebody else's credit to boost your credit here in 2021 and going forward, right? Hopefully this information is good for you. If you have any question or any other question in regards to authorized user, comment below. I'll be able to answer it, and do your due diligent research and